Hi everyone, Shade here with my Stormclaw Druid build guide for World Tier 3. This is for Season 1 of Diablo 4. Before we get into the build, I just wanted to mention that I do stream on Twitch. You can catch me at my link in the description box below, and to also do all the YouTube fun stuff just to help me grow the channel a little bit. So without further ado, let's get into the build. We'll start with equipment. First, we have Helm, and that is where the one unique that is essential for this build to really work is, and it's the ever elusive Tempest Roar. That basically turns your storm skills into werewolf skills, which completely synergizes this entire build. But before that, I was just using this. This has total armor, maximum life, and cooldown reduction, which are all important for this build. And then the bubble has actually saved my bacon a few times, so that is a very useful one. So if you want to get one, get protecting. It really works. I just got this. I got Mad Wolf's Glee. This adds 3 ranks, and if you upgrade it, it actually adds 4 ranks, but doesn't upgrade the tooltip. So this will add 4 ranks to all werewolf skills, and paired with Tempest Roar, this gives you a ton of extra skills to play around with to boost your damage and everything else. Like I said, you don't have to use Mad Wolf's Glee. I have it. It's fun for World Tier 3 where defense isn't really needed, but if you get into World Tier 4, that's when you want to start looking for a chest piece with all 4 defensives on it, all the damage reductions, so general damage reduction, close, distance, poison, or something, just another damage reduction. For my arms, I'm using Stormclaws on here that basically critical strikes with Shred, deal 24% of the damage dealt as lightning damage to the target and surrounding enemies. This allows us to do some AoE clears, especially once our critical strike damage starts ramping up and up and up. This damage gets higher and higher and really helps. The important things to get on your arms are attack speed. Attack speed is really important for this. This helps us build spirit really quickly. Also attack quickly, so that is a very important one. And then ranks of Shred. Ideally 3, but if you get ranks of Shred, that's good to have. And the critical strike damage for like werewolf skills. And I have critical strike chance now because I don't have guaranteed crits from the waxing gibbous. So getting critical strike chance is important too. These gloves are pretty good. For our pants, we want to also get the damage reduction. I haven't found any good pants yet, so I'm just wearing these. But we want to get the 4 damage reductions that I mentioned earlier. And then we also want to probably get disobedience. I don't have it because I've been very lazy. I'm going to go get it eventually. But this one, the vigorous aspect, actually helps because it gives us extra damage reduction while we're in werewolf. So with Mad Wolf's Glee, we're in werewolf all the time, so this is up quite often. For feats, I really want to just get movement speed at this tier. The Storm Shifters aspect though is really good. While Hurricane is active, you gain +2 ranks to your shape-shifting skills. I activate Hurricane every time right before I go into Grizzly Rage, which turns us into a Dire Werewolf, which then gives us +2. So this just boosts our damage and helps out a lot. For main hand, now I did two-handed for a while, but I really want to stress that one hand and offhand is the way to go. You attack a lot faster while the numbers are higher. Initially with the two-hand, the one hand just starts to ramp up much faster. I recommend an axe because of the damage to healthy. But essentially we want to get the waxing gibbous, which is a unique axe that allows us to go into stealth when we kill an enemy using Shred, and then every attack out of stealth is guaranteed crit, which just kind of powers this entire build. It's not essential, but it's very important to getting it. It's not as essential as, say, Tempest Roar, but it's pretty essential to just getting this build to get faster and allow you to get more and more items to kind of build this out. Next is our Totem. This one, I just have critical strikes with core skills, increase our attack speed. We attack faster. It's all good. The important stats to get on here are lucky hit chance and spirit cost reduction. Druids are a very, very spirit starved, resource starved class. So anything that we can reduce our spirit cost is awesome. We want to get reduced spirit cost everywhere we can. And then the lucky hit chance, when you go through the skills, we'll see where that comes in important, but we want to get lucky hit wherever we can as well. For rings, I have Rampaging Werebeast on here. This increases the duration of Grisly Rage. And also, when we crit, we ramp up our critical strike damage. With the Waxing Gibbous, we'd be critting all the time, but we do crit quite often, so that damage just keeps getting higher and higher and higher, which then makes our shred, the Stormclaws, get higher and higher and higher, and that's how we do a lot of the damage in this build. They did take away the double dipping in the last patch, which is okay. It still does some crazy damage, so it's just not doing billions like it was. But we want to get Grisly, we want to get Rampaging Werebeast on one of our rings. On the other one, I have Retaliation, but there is also another aspect that allows you to deal instant poison damage whenever you dash for Shred. I haven't found it yet, so once I find it, I'm going to put it on my other ring. The stats that we want to get on here are lucky hit chance, crit damage. I have crit strike chance right now just because I don't have a Waxing Gibbous and I don't have guaranteed crits. But we want to get anything that kind of ups our crit damage. Vulnerable damage is also good, but lucky hit chance is one of the top ones that we want to get. And then finally, on our amulet, I put Direwolf's aspect. This is essential to the build as well. Grisly Rage now shapeshifts us into a dire werewolf. We gain movement speed instead of damage reduction and a spirit cost reduction, which allows us to just shred a ton. In addition, kills heal you for 10%. So basically, it ramps up our movement speed, gives us health and spirit cost reduction. We just become a killing machine. So, as I said, this is a Season 1 guide. So, Season 1 introduced Malignant Hearts. There are quite a few of them. I've picked out the ones that I think are really good for this build. The first one is a Vicious Heart, where you gain a percentage of critical strike damage, but your non-critical strikes deal less damage. This is really good, especially because they nerf critical strike damage, just kind of makes up for it. So this is one I think we're going to want to run, especially when you get the Waxing Gibbous, because essentially you'll be critting quite often, because you should be able to kill trash pretty quickly. So having this just gives us more and more damage. I have a Wrathful Heart here. This is the one that when you're hit with a Sun, Freeze, or Knockdown, there's a chance to automatically activate Grisly Rage. From my testing, there is no cooldown with this. So you can proc it back to back to back if you can. And if you have any of the enhanced nodes from Grisly Rage, they work as well. So you get unstoppable if you have that slotted. So get it, it's awesome. I really like it. I was only able to find this in World Tier 3. I'm not sure if it's available before then, but when you find it, slot it immediately. And then finally, I have this Devious Heart. This one, resource draining effects are less effective, and we also get resource generation. This one is essential because all the malignant enemies drain resources, and I was having issues where I couldn't keep my resources up, so it was very hard because every hit was draining my resources. So this basically makes them super easy. It really kills that effect, and it also, being resource starved as druids are, this only buffs us as well. I also had this one, the Inexorable Force. When you activate an ultimate skill, and the entire time that it's up, you just pull enemies in with you. It was really useful, except when you're trying to do certain world events, then it becomes an issue. But this you can use if you haven't been able to find the resource one. This one I didn't find until World Tier 3 also, so I'm not sure if there's like a barrier, like a level, like a minimum level you have to be. Okay, next is the Spirit Boons. I chose Wariness for the 10% reduced damage from elites, Avian Wrath for the extra critical strike damage, Calamity for the extended duration of Grizzly Rage, Calm Before the Storm. Nature magic skills have a lucky hit chance to reduce the cooldown. This allows us to go into Grizzly Rage more often. And then Masochistic has been changed since the last patch. It is now a lucky hit. If we crit with shape-shifting skills, we have a 75% chance to heal for 3%. Last time it was just on critical hits, which kept you up all the time, but last patch they changed it to lucky hit. So that's why we want to stack lucky hit, is to proc this to kind of keep us alive along with the Grizzly Rage. Now we'll go into abilities. The basic ability that we use is Storm Strike. This adds immobilization to enemies as well as vulnerability. It's really, really good when you're not in werewolf form. Shred is our main spirit spender. It's basically what this build is built on. This allows us to heal ourselves, and then we also do dashes around and deal increased critical strike damage when we're doing it with Primal Shred. For passives, I take Predatory Instinct to increase critical strike chance against close enemies. Everything we attack is close, so it's good, and it's great when when we haven't been able to get a Waxing Gibbous, or when we have Waxing Gibbous, if we haven't been able to kill anything, it just kind of ups our critical chance. It's really, really good. Then we take this for 9% movement speed, and yes, I don't know how to pronounce it. Digitigrade Gate. There you go. But this adds movement speed when we're in werewolf form, and because I have the Mad Wolf's Glee, we're in werewolf form pretty much all the time. I also have Heart of the Wild and Wild Impulses. I haven't finished my Renown, but I will get the rest of this. Get this last. We are spirit starved, so unless you have spirit reduction, it makes it very, very hard, and you're out of spirit all the time. So get this last when you are starting to have comfortable spirit generation. For our defensives, I take Blood Howl for the healing, and then we take Innate Blood Howl to generate 20 spirit. It's really, really good. I use it on cooldown. And then I also have Cyclone Armor. This gives us a non-physical damage reduction. There's also an aspect that gives you physical damage reduction there too. You can use that if you want it. It's up all the time. We also take Preserving Cyclone Armor. This every 10 seconds. The armor intensifies and gives us 30% damage reduction for 2 seconds. It's really, really good. Passives here is Ancestral Fortitude for just a little bump in non-physical resistances, and then Vigilance for 15% damage reduction every time we activate a defensive skill. I don't take any companion skills, but for wrath skills, I have Hurricane, which pairs well with the boots. So when Hurricane is active, we get +2 to our shapeshifting skills, and then we also slow the enemy, and they deal less damage to us. I've gone into Elemental Exposure into Endless Tempest just for the increased duration of Hurricane. It's really, really good. Ultimates, Grizzly Rage, of course, and this adds 6 seconds of Unstoppable, so every time we activate it, even when the heart activates, we get Unstoppable, so we can break out a CC, and then this just gives us base life as Fortitude for every second that we use. And this is increased by Defensive Posture, which increases the amount of Fortify we gain from all sources, into Nature's Resolve, which gives us a chance to fortify when we're struck, and then Unrestrained, which reduces control impairing effects by 9%. And if we have Fortify over 50% of our life, this becomes 27%. It's great, and we have a lot of Fortify in this build, so we want to just kind of maintain that because it gives us an extra damage reduction on top of it. And then for my key passive, I have Lupine Ferocity, where every 6 werewolf skill hit critically strikes and deals 70% increased damage. This is really, really good. It kind of drops off when you get Tempest Roar, though, because every storm skill is now a werewolf skill, and with Hurricane running, you hit that 6 skill every time. So you might want to switch to Bestial Rampage. But this just helps. I mean, you can see the damage numbers every 6 hit. It's awesome. So let's move on to the Paragon board. Now, as you can see, I don't have a lot, so just bear with me. I'll kind of explain where I'm going, and then probably tomorrow sometime I'll add a link to the description box that will link to a build guide and an actual Paragon board that we'll build into. But I'll explain where I'm going from here. So to start off, we go and we just grab the damage nodes, and we get up to this first one, and I've added Exploit. I am just one away from actually having the vulnerable all the time. Well, not all the time, but often. So once I unlock that, I'm going to come up here, and I went for Lust for Carnage first. Critical strikes with werewolf skills, restore 2 spirit. This is a good spirit generator. We crit quite often, so having this is really, really helpful. I'm probably going to unlock this glyph to unlock werewolf, which is here, and it just increases our damage in werewolf form based on willpower. There's a lot of willpower on this node, so I'm going to probably put werewolf there, but we're also going to stop off here to get this node, Wild's Call, which adds to our attack speed. Attack speed is really, really good with this build. We attack faster. We also generate spirit a lot faster when we're starved for spirit. So getting that and then getting these 3 nodes here to just increase our attack speed is going to be really, really good. And then I'm going to come off on this side to pick up Heightened Malice. So with Heightened Malice, I will come down here and grab this. I don't remember what I want to put there. I'll take a look and see, but I'm getting it mainly for Sinking Fangs, which gives us more damage, and then Natureborn, which gives us damage reduction to enemies that are poisoned. Everything's poisoned all the time, and with Tempest Roar, even our hurricanes can poison. So having everything poisoned just gives us extra damage and extra damage reduction. And then we'll come down here, and I'm going to actually pick up Ancestral Guidance there. I'm sorry for that being the way it is, but I will probably have it slotted like this, and I'll come down here just to get Ancestral Guidance, which after spending 75 spirit, you deal 30% increased damage for 5 seconds. But I'll also stop here because this is, you get spirit on kill. You get 2 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So you get 4 spirit on kill for this little node here, plus that. And that's all I'm going to do in the Ancestral Guidance. The other Paragon boards I'll add with a later guide once I actually get some of the other pieces to this guide going. But that's kind of where I'm going. And like I said, Sunday, tomorrow afternoon, I'll probably have an actual build guide in the description. So that's everything so far. World Tier 3 has been pretty good. Like I said, I didn't level using this, but I think you could. It's just the spirit issues, especially if you don't have spirit reduction, are a little limiting. And that's why the Poison Creeper Landslide using the aspect of Subterranean is so good. And Subterranean is actually a season journey goal, so you get the first one and you get it, so you don't have to look for it anywhere. You'll always have it, and that's really, really good for leveling, so I suggest that. But if you want to get into World Tier 3 and you want to do some werewolf stuff, this is a really, really good build to kind of get started. It's very easy. Most of the aspects are found in dungeons. There's just a couple that I haven't found yet, and it really doesn't rely on any uniques. Like I said, it doesn't rely on uniques. I just got Mad Wolf's Glee. I've gotten up to this point using just a regular chess piece, so you don't have to get any uniques. Just get a one hand and a totem that are really strong for you, and this build should take you into World Tier 4, which is where I hope to be pretty soon. So if you like the guide, please give me a follow. You can also check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/shade. I would really, really appreciate a follow, and a like, comment, subscribe on this if you could. Be really, really appreciative. Thanks a lot, and I'll catch you guys later.